will get involved in counterfeit tobacco, and that's far more dangerous for children because criminal gangs don't care who they sell to. They're more than happy to sell to children.
We're joined now by the Lib Dem MP Stephen Williams. He used to chair the all-party group on smoking, has even won a medal from the World Health Organization for his anti-tobacco campaigning. Ooh-ah. And also in our central London studio, Suzanne Evans from UKIP, who are opposed to plain packaging. Welcome to you both. Stephen Williams, if this is so important to public health, why is there only a free vote on it, and why has it taken so long?
Well, it's controversial inside government. I mean, a lot of anti-tobacco measures over the years have been controversial. I was an MP in the last Parliament. I was the Lib Dem's public health spokesperson when the Labour government proposed a partial ban on smoking in public places, which everyone thought was risible. How on earth would you enforce that? And it ended up being a sort of free vote, and it was Parliament that decided to have a comprehensive ban on smoking in public places. There's plenty of precedent for this.
So cigarettes at the moment, I think, in shops are hidden behind screens.
In large shops, yeah. In small shops, it's about to happen, yeah.
Right, but OK, so it's soon going to be like that in all the shops. So if they're already hidden behind the screens, what difference does plain packaging make?
Well, because people consume cigarettes, obviously, in public. And the sort of things that we've been worried about for a long time. Once you've purchased the cigarettes, obviously you consume them in public. You have the cigarette packet on the table and people
why does that
see them that way. The design of a cigarette packet is the last marketing tool that the tobacco companies have available to them. The sponsorship and advertising,
that's all gone.
Similar things have all gone in the last sort of 10 or 20 years. The design of the pack is the last marketing tool they have left. And what they've been doing is designing the packs in different shapes in order to make them attractive to teenage girls or teenage boys. I mean, the most obvious example is a pack that only has 3 or 4 cigarettes in it that is shaped like a lipstick tube. And that's quite obviously marketed at young girls. What the tobacco companies want to do is to recruit the next generation of smokers, because very few adults rationally decide to take up smoking. It's teenagers that start and then get addicted.
They've done this in Australia. The evidence for years that it makes a difference for your side of the case is not great, is it?
Well, it's early days. It's only been in place in Australia
2012.
and it often takes quite a long time for an evidence base on a public health intervention.
But we can't see any increase
up
in smoking rate decreases among 14 to 17-year-olds.
Yeah, but if I mean, we've heard from Simon from Forest, who I've debated with many times before, and the tobacco companies have been lobbying very heavily against this for the last few years.
No, I understand all that, but I'm just trying to get the evidence.
If they didn't think that the design of the packaging and the number of cigarettes you sell was an important marketing tool to them to recruit smokers, then they'd say, well, so what? It's not going to affect us. The fact is they know it will affect them, and that's why they're fighting it.
Except we don't have that evidence yet from Switzerland, but from Australia. But as you say, it's early days. Suzanne Evans, what's wrong with taking as many steps as we can that will inhibit, discourage, stop young people from taking up smoking?
There's absolutely nothing wrong with taking serious health measures that are proved to be effective in trying to encourage people not to smoke. I don't smoke, I don't want to smoke, but I'm certainly not offended by the sight of a plain of a tobacco packet in public. I find it quite almost astonishingly Victorian, the attitude that we've got here. I think it's once again, for me, another assault on civil liberties, on our freedom of conscience.
Well, what do you mean, the freedom of a youngster to buy cigarettes?
Not a youngster, because obviously we have laws in place already that stop youngsters buying cigarettes, and I'd be the first to advocate that those are
But this is who it's aimed at. It's fundamentally aimed at trying to discourage young people from not smoking in the first place. Now, why should, given that it's going to cost us billions down the road in health from people, if people do take up smoking when they're young, why shouldn't we support methods that discourage it?
Well, of course we should. I'm not saying that we shouldn't by any steps of our motion, because it doesn't work. And
well, we don't know that yet.
Well, you've already talked about the Australian
early days,
example.
I said.
Early days, it might well be, but it's not worked. And in fact, it also shows that more young people seem to have taken up smoking, precisely because of that nature of the illicit that our young people so often seem to find so overwhelmingly attractive. If adults want to smoke, then that's fine. We've already got dark tobacconists now in larger shops, and
what's a dark tobacconist?
About when they're closed up, when you can't see them, when they're shut up behind the cupboard.
All right.
I think that's the
technical phrase. So I thought it was like the dark web, and they were selling them illegal. Let me bring Stephen Williams back in. Look, I mean, you've raised the age you can buy cigarettes to 18. Yep. You've increased the tax on them year after year. You've banned all advertising and sponsorship. You've banned smoking in public places. You've banned smoking in cars with children.
Not yet.
Well, you're about to. You're about to. You're going to do it. They're now sold behind screens. They're now going to be sold in plain brown packaging. Why don't you just have the guts of your convictions and ban them?
Well, Suzanne, I suspect, is a libertarian.
Never mind her. Why don't you just ban them?
This is a product that some people do enjoy consuming, adults.
You want to ban them, be honest.
I don't, actually. I'm not in favour of banning things.
They're a lot simpler instead of all these laws, of all these endless regulations and laws.
At the moment,
why don't you just ban them?
About a fifth of the adult population smoke. So banning something that a fifth of the population do and people have done for hundreds of years.
Lots of drugs are banned that probably a fifth of the population do.
Well, and that doesn't work, does it? I mean, I'm in favour, I don't want to widen the discussion probably into this, but I'm in favour of legalising marijuana, for instance.
Would you force that to be... You'd be forced to sell that under plain packaging as well?
Yes, but having it sold in a regulated condition where it's taxed, I think that is the best way to deal with something that is addictive, is harmful, but people want to do it. I mean, if UKIP want to be the beer and fags party, well, good luck to them.
Well, let me go back to Suzanne Evans. And maybe vote Suzanne Evans in being the beer and fags party. Your leader, Nigel Farage, likes a fag. Quite a lot, it seems. And it seems that UKIP accepted a £25,000 donation from Pillbox 38, which is a company with electronic cigarette brands called Totally Wicked. Is that true?
I understand that that is correct, yes, and absolutely.
So we know where you're coming from then, don't we?
Well, hang on a moment. E-cigarette, you're talking about initiatives to try and clamp down on smoking and prevent people smoking. E-cigarettes are a fantastic way for people to give up smoking. Lots of people have actually written to me about this because the EU is planning to ban e-cigarettes, and this is going to cause enormous problems because they really do genuinely help people to give up. Can I make one final point as well?
Briefly?
The Australian case, the World Trade Organization is looking into whether or not Australia is in breach of trade agreements internationally, and there's a potential legal case pending. You talked about billions on health. We might well find ourselves, if we go down this route in Britain, spending out billions in legal fees.
Well, legal fees are high in this country, but they rarely come, even for rich lawyers, to billions. Anyway, even millions is too much.
Well,
Suzanne Evans, thanks very much for joining us. Stephen Williams as well. Just one thought from you.
I'm not a banner, but my instinct is to make smoking as unattractive as possible.
And that would include
plain packaging. 40 years since I gave it up.
And that would include plain packaging in your view?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we'll leave it there. Thank you.